Metatalks continues with Alachia and Azyxa, and we're going to do a tutorial on how to play Magic the Gathering. We have with us 2 packs, little miniature packs we got from PAX East, which are great little starter packs to play. So they're not the original 60 cards you need to play with, but this is good for the just sort of a basic tutorial on how to play. I want to keep this short and easy. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to play Magic the Gathering. I'm going to play from perspective of someone who's never played before. Azyxa is going to play from the perspective of someone who is out to give you the beatdown. No, okay, he's going to give me the information we need to play this game. So, having never played it before, let's go. Alright, so I have a stack of cards here. You have a stack of cards. What do I do?
So, the first thing you do is draw 7 cards.
Okay.
Both people.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I have 7 cards in my hands. And so I'm playing a red deck, which is, a pre-made deck, and you're playing a blue one.
Yes.
So, basically, each of the colors, there's 5 colors in Magic, they all have a thing called basic lands, which you use to play for... You actually need to put out in order to play all the other cards, correct?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
can you list out what they are?
Yeah, there's an island, which I have. There's mountains, which Alachia has.
Red.
Which is red. Islands are blue. And then there's plains, which are white. Swamps, which are black. And then forests, which are green. And so the mana is... the lands are what produces your mana to cast spells.
Okay. So I have mountains since I'm red, so I'm allowed to put out 1 basic land per turn.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Well,
right.
1 land per turn.
1 land per turn.
1 land per turn. It's kind of like the game counter.
Okay, so land, any type of land. Okay.
So you go first.
So I went first, so I didn't draw anything since I went first. It's kind of like your punishment for going first. So I put out one land, so let me see if I have anything here that I can cast with 1 land, and I do. So I'm going to tap this, so that means I'm accessing my mana, correct?
Yes. Tapping a card is activating its ability, or for a land, you tap it for mana. So you get 1, in her case, 1 red mana.
Okay. So I'm going to put out this Goblin Arcanist, which is a creature that does 1/1 damage. 1 being the hit points, attack points it has, and the other bottom number here being 1 as in the hit points it has.
Yes.
So it's a creature, it's a Goblin Shaman, and it has an ability on the card that says when Goblin Arcanist dies, you may have it deal 1 damage to target creature or player. So it's not dying right now, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to put that out. So now I have a creature that does 1/1 damage. And I can't do anything else because I don't have any mana to use, so I'm going to say it's the end of my turn.
Yes, and the first turn you put a creature out, it cannot use its abilities, and it cannot attack.
Right, it has res sickness.
Yes, it has red sickness, which in Magic is summoning sickness.
Summoning sickness.
Yes.
Okay.
And so Alachia finishes her turn, and then it's my turn. I will draw a card, and with the same as her, I will put down a land, and I put down an island. It produces 1 blue mana. And I look at my hand, and I only have 1 creature, which is 1 casting cost, which is the Kraken Hatchling. I'm letting it focus. And it's a 0/4, which means it has 0 attack, and it has 4 hit point.
Okay.
So I'm going to tap my island and then play the Kraken Hatchling.
Okay.
And since I have no more mana, and my Kraken Hatchling cannot attack, I'm going to end my turn.
Okay, so it's my turn again. I get to untap my land, or anything. I can, if I had tapped this, I can untap that. So it's my untap phase, I untapped. Now I'm going to draw a card, right?
Yes, you draw 1 card.
So, draw another card, and I can put out, because it's my turn again, I can put out another land. So I do, so now I have 2 mana. So what I'll do now is, I will go ahead and I will attack you, since it doesn't have red sickness, right? So I can attack you.
Yep. The next turn, the turn after a creature comes into play, it can then attack or use its abilities.
So I'm attacking for 1/1, against you, and
Okay. And so I can either choose to block with my Kraken Hatchling. And so if I do block with the Kraken Hatchling, her Goblin will deal 1 damage to it and bring my Kraken Hatchling down to 3 hit point. My Kraken Hatchling, having 0 attack, will do 0 damage to the Goblin Arsonist, and they would both live if I chose to block with the Kraken Hatchling. The other option is I could take the damage myself. We are both wizards, like in a spell battle, or planeswalkers, which is a more appropriate term. We each have 20 hit points, and the goal of the game is to bring each other down to 0 first. And so I'm going to decide to block with my Kraken Hatchling, since my Kraken Hatchling will live, since it has 4 hit points, and so I choose to block your Goblin Arsonist.
Okay, so then because I have 2 mana and I have a spell here that it says it's instant, it means I can play it at any time, correct?
Yes.
So I'm going to go ahead and tap 2 mana, because it costs 2 mana. Right there. Costs 2 mana, 1 colorless and 1 red. So I'm going to go ahead and cast this instant. And so this instant says, let me see. Sure, focus. Okay. Searing Spear deals 3 damage to target creature or target player. I'm going to choose to target the creature. So it's already down to 0-3 right now.
Yes, it has 3 hit points since the Goblin dealt 1 damage to it.
So now I'm going to choose to attack. You use this instant spell against that. So now it's down to 0-0.
Okay, and when a creature reaches 0 or less than 0 hit points, it dies.
Okay.
So my Kraken Hatchling dies. Poor little Kraken Hatchling. And when a creature dies, you put it into what's called the graveyard. And this is where all used cards go and all dead creatures go. And that's usually to the right of your library. So I'm going to put him right here. And then Alachia used her instant, which is only a 1-use spell, and that'll also go to the graveyard.
Boo.
Boo.
Okay, and I'm done.
Because you have no more mana. And your creature attacked.
Yes.
So you have nothing left to do. And so during my turn, I get to untap all of my lands and creatures. I'm going to untap my island. And then I get to draw a card. And I'm going to lay another island down, and now I have access to 2 mana.
Boom!
Boom. I have in my hand, I have a creature which I cannot cast because it's too expensive, and then I have 2 spells.
Too expensive meaning mana-wise.
Too expensive
Yeah.
meaning it's more than 2 mana, so I cannot cast it. And I also have spells, but I don't want to cast these spells right now. And so I'm going to be done.
Okay. My turn. Untapping. Drawing. Okay. Also, I can put out another land. Since getting my turn. And I am going to go ahead and tap 3 lands. And I'm going to cast this thing called Riot Devils. Sorry. Riot Devils, which costs 2 colorless and 1 red mana. And it's a 2-3, meaning 2 attack, 3 hit points. It's a creature devil. This stuff in the italics is what they call flavor text, which is basically like quest text, so you can skip it. You don't need to read it. For me. But, a lot of people like it because it adds to the lore and the feeling of the game.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of it's really funny. So I'm going to put that out. He has red sickness, summoning sickness, so I can't do anything, but I can attack.
Wait. And I can, when she plays a spell, I can say in response I want to cast the spell, and I can only do that if I have an instant. So I'm going to say in response I want to cast
Magic Missile!
No, not Magic Missile. I'm going to cast Essence Scatter.
What does it do?
Which costs 1 blue mana and 1 colorless mana. Colorless is the 1 right here on the top right card. That means you can use any color you want for the 1, or if there's a 2, it'd be 2 of any color and 1 blue. So I'm paying 2, and it says it's an instant, and it says counter target creature spell. So I'm going to play that in response to her.
So me putting this out is
Riot
considered
Devils.
casting a spell. That's something I figured out later on. But yeah, so me putting this out is casting a spell, so he's countering me casting that spell. So basically it's like nil.
Yes.
I now did not cast that spell.
The spell fizzles, and her creature goes to the graveyard, and then my Essence Scatter, which is an instant, also goes to the graveyard, because instants can only be used once. So I use that on my turn, so use that on her turn, so it's still her turn.
So it's still my turn. So I'm attacking you with this Goblin Arsonist for 1 damage.
Okay. So the Goblin Arsonist hits me because I have no creatures, and I have no mana, and I can't do anything about it, so I'm down to 19 hit points. Excellent.
Excellent. Okay, so now it's your turn.
Okay, so I'm going to untap my 2 islands. I'm going to draw a card, and...
Show me your card. Show me your card when you draw it.
Oh, okay. I drew this little guy. And then I'm going to lay another land down. And I'm going to play...
Magic Missile!
Magic Missile. I'm going to play a Scroll Thief. It's a creature. It's a merfolk. When Scroll Thief deals combat damage to a player, which is Alachia, I get to draw 1 card. And so it costs 2 colorless and 1 blue mana, so I need to tap 3 islands to get 3 mana, and I'm going to play my Scroll Thief. And he has Summoning Sickness, so he cannot attack or do anything. And I'm done.
Okay. So now I untap. And I draw a card. Okay. And then I can lay down a land. And now I will go ahead and... Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Hang on a second. I'm going to tap 4 mountains here to get 4. I'm going to cast this Blade Tusk Boar, which costs 3 colorless mana and 1 red. This creature board has 3 attack, 2 hit points. He also has an ability called Intimidate, which abilities we'll go over later. But Intimidate, in this case, I'll put the little in the parentheses what it's for. It says this creature can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or creatures that share the same color with it, in this case red. So I'm going to go ahead and put that out.
He's very intimidating.
It's very intimidating. And he's got Summoning Sickness, so I'm not going to attack. And also, if I attacked with this guy, which is a 1/1,
the Goblin Arsonist.
It wouldn't do anything because he could use this creature to block me, and it wouldn't die, and it would be useless. So I'm.
Well, your creature would die.
Yeah, my creature would die, but his would just live.
My creature is a.
So I'd basically be ramming myself into a wall and dying.
So my creature is a 1/3, so it would do 1 damage to your Goblin Arsonist, and it would die.
Yes, and you would go down.
My Merfolk has 3 hit points, so it would be dead 2, and it would live.
So I'm not doing that. So I'm passing.
Okay. And it'll be my turn. So I'll untap my 3 lands, and I'll draw 1 card. I drew that. Very exciting. It's an island, and I'm going to put it down. So now I have 4 islands. I need to look at my hand. And... I'm going to cast the Wind Drake. He costs 3 mana. And he's 2/2 flying. 1, 2, 3. And so I have my Scroll Thief down, and I could attack, but I'm not going to, because Alachia will most likely block with her Blade Tusk Boar, which has 3 attack and 2 hit points, and so because of the 3 attack, it'll bring my Scroll Thief down to 0 hit point if she chooses to block with it. And I cannot attack with my Windrake, and so I'm going to end my turn.
Okay. Untapping.
Untap.
Untap. Okay. Drawing a card. Ooh. Exciting. Okay, so let's see. I actually have enough mana to cast 2 different types of creatures if I wanted to right now. Oh, I didn't put that land down, so land down. I always forget that part. Alright, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go with this guy. So I'm gonna. He costs 2. He's 2 colorless, 1 red. So that's 3 total. Putting him out. So now I'm going to go ahead and attack with all 3.
Did you read what he did?
When Fervent Cathar enters the battlefield, target creature can't block this turn.
Yes.
So I guess I don't have to attack with both. All of them. Is that correct?
Well, so the creature she put into play has an ability which says, 1, it has haste, which means creatures with haste can actually activate their abilities or attack the turn they come in. So she can use that creature right now, along with her others. It also has the ability for when it first comes into play, which is right now, she can target one of my creatures and that creature cannot block for this turn.
Okay, I see. Yes, as a beginner Magic player, you're going to hear these words many times. What does the card say? Read it again.
Read it again.
Read it again, slowly. So that is one of the things that I do find really fascinating about Magic, is that it has the dynamics because of all of the stuff that actually is on the cards themselves, besides the basics that we were kind of playing with here with hit points and the attack points and the hit points. There's actually stuff within the cards themselves that actually change the game up a lot.
Yeah.
So in this case, this actually tells me that I can attack here. First, I don't even have to wait for Summoning Sickness because it has haste. And second, I can pick a creature and it can't block me.
Just this one turn.
Just this one turn.
Because the creature just came into play.
It just came out. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to... that means I can pick the creature, right? That I'm
you have to choose the creature first.
Okay, so I'm choosing this creature.
Why?
Because it can actually do damage to it and kill it.
Can't he?
Well, that's a 1/3. This is only 2/1.
You're right. It only has 1 hit point.
Oh, it can't block. It doesn't matter. I see. Okay, got it.
It can't block.
It can't block, whatever it is.
Why not?
Because I'm choosing it to not block this turn.
Who do you want not to block?
This one.
Yes.
Okay.
So she chose for my...
Yeah, for some reason I was still looking at the hit points there, and I was like, okay.
Yeah,
well,
attack is always first.
Yes,
hit points
attack
second.
is first, so his hit points don't matter because he can't block.
So she chose my Scroll Thief. My Scroll Thief can't block. He's a 1/3. He's out of the picture, so I don't do anything with him. I don't tap him. I don't turn him over or anything. I note that I can't block with him. But I can block with my Windrake, who's a 2/2 flying.
Okay, so then I will attack with this guy.
Do you want to attack with all of them?
No, just this one.
Why not?
Well, this one can't block.
Yeah.
Oh, but I can still do damage to it.
No, you can't block.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But I can do damage to you.
You can.
Yes, so I will attack with all these creatures.
So she's going to choose to attack with all the creatures.
Because you can't block, and I can destroy that one.
And yes, I cannot block with my Scroll Thief. My Windrake is only a 2/2.
Can't you choose who you block with?
Yes.
Who you block against?
Yes.
Okay.
So the defending player can choose what attackers he wants to block with his own creature. So my Windrake, I could choose to block the Fervent Cathar, or I could block the Goblin Arsonist. I cannot block the what is it? Blade Tusk Boar, because it has Intimidate, and my blue creature is very scared of it. And so, deciding what to block, I could either block the Catheter, and my Windrake would die, and the Catheter would die. I could block the Goblin Arsonist.
It's not a catheter, by the way.
It's a Cathar. Sorry.
Cathar.
Cathar. It's a Cathar. Who knew? I could block the Goblin Arsonist. The Goblin Arsonist would only do 1 damage to my creature, but then when the Goblin Arsonist dies, it can then do 1 damage to player or creature.
Mm-hmm.
You want to show them that?
Yeah. So it has actually text here that gives it abilities, so when it dies, it actually will do a damage to either a creature or a player.
And so I'm not going to block.
Oh, so you're going to take it all.
Take it all the damage.
Okay.
So I'll take 3, 4, 5, 6 damage.
So.
And I'll be at 14.
Okay.
14, and you're at 19.
Am I?
No, you're not.
You haven't done any damage to me.
You're right. I was cheating.
You were at 19.
Oh, I was at 19.
You were at 19.
I was trying to cheat. So I'm at 13, which is not as it's worse than 14. And you're at 20.
Okay.
Okay, good. Good.
And I'm done.
And she's
doing damage.
Doing damage. One thing to note when it's your attack step, you have to choose to attack with all the creatures that you're going to attack with. You can't say I want to attack with this guy and then resolve everything, and then you can't say then I want to attack with this guy here now. You have to choose everything you want to attack with and be done with it, and then no more attacks for you that turn. Just FYI.
Okay. Yeah, you learn that anyways when you play someone and you're like, I'm going to attack you, and then you're like, oh, they took the damage, and then you're like, I'm going to attack you again with this other creature, and they're like, no, you can't do that.
No, you're not.
I'm like, damn it.
So it's my turn. I'm going to untap my 4 islands. I need to draw 1 card. I drew this. And I'm going to play my 5th island. And I'm going to play the card I just drew, which is Divination, for 3 mana. And you'll note this is a new card type. It's called a sorcery. Sorceries are spells like an instant, but it can only be cast on my turn. So the player who's casting it can only be cast on their turn. Typically they tend to be a little bit more powerful because they can only be cast on that player's turn. So I'm going to cast Divination, and it lets me draw 2 cards.
Okay.
1, 2 into my hand. And then sorceries, once they're used once, go into the graveyard. And now it's my turn to attack. I'm going to attack with my Scroll Thief, who's a 1/3, and my Windrake, who's a 2/2.
And I can't block because my creatures are tapped.
Tapped creatures cannot block.
So all the damage goes to me.
So you'll take 3 damage.
Yes.
And my Scroll Thief activates, and when I hit a player, so I'm hitting Alachia, I get to draw a card. And I'll show you here. And so I draw 1 more card. Ooh. Cards down. And you're at 17.
Correct.
Okay. And I'll end my turn.
Untapping. Okay. Drawing a card. Very exciting. Land. Okay. So I only have 1 card to play. So I'm going to play this Goblin Battle Jester. And it's a 2/2, but its text says, whenever you cast a red spell, target creature can't block this turn.
That's going to suck for me.
So I'm going, these cost 3 colorless and 1 red. That's 4. Put this out, so I'm going to target a creature that I don't want to be able to block this turn. However, none of yours can block anyways because they're tapped.
Well, this doesn't activate yet.
Oh, it doesn't act. Oh, whenever I cast a red spell.
Yes.
Well, I did just cast a red spell.
But he wasn't in play yet.
Oh, so that doesn't count as casting a red spell.
No, because his ability doesn't activate because he wasn't in play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's for any red spells you cast after this.
I gotcha. Okay, so I'm going to attack for 2, 3, 1, 6 damage.
Okay, so in response, I'm going to pay 1 blue mana, and I'm going to cast Unsummon, which is 1 blue mana, and it says return target creature to owner's hand. And I'm going to play it on the boar. Because the boar does the most damage, it'll do 3 damage to me. I'm going to have her put it back into her hand before it hits me in the face with its tusk.
So I hit you for 3 damage.
You hit me for 3 damage. Which is still good because now I'm at 10.
Yes.
And
when you play against
losing.
a blue deck or any cards that are blue, you're going to hear those words a lot. In response to you casting magic missile.
Yes, blue's the shifty color. It puts things back into your hand. It'll counter spells.
It's the hold up, wait a minute, like color.
Whoa!
Now,
whoa.
hang on. Okay, and I'm done.
And I'm at 10. So it's my turn. I'm going to untap my 5 islands and my 2 creatures, so they are ready to go. And I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to cast. I'm sorry, I'm not going to cast. I'm going to play a land. And decide what to do. Okay. I'm going to attack first, and I'm going to attack with just my Windrake. And the reason being is that she has a creature out which is untapped, so we can block. It's a 2/2. The Windrake, however, has an ability called, if it focuses, called Flying. Flying creatures can essentially fly right over non-flying creatures. So any creatures that she has that does not have flying cannot block flying.
Yeah. So they're up in the air. I'm down here, so we can just attack, and I can't block because it's
flies right over.
Okay.
And it's also good to note that flying creatures can block creatures on the ground, so they can block flying and they can block non-flying.
Well, aren't they special?
They are, and because of this, they tend to cost a bit more to play, or they tend to be weaker. So I'm going to attack with just my Windrake for 2 damage.
In response,
Whoa.
I take 2 damage.
Whoa. In response.
Yeah, I don't have an in response, so I take 2 damage.
So Alachia takes 2 damage. You'll be down to 15. Okay. It's still my turn after my attack, so I'm going to decide if I want to do anything else. I'm going to play an Archaeomancer for 4 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this guy is a creature. He's only a 1/2, but he has the ability that when I play him, when he enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery in my graveyard to my hand. So I'm going to lay him down, and I choose an instant or sorcery, and I'm going to choose the Divination, and I'm going to put it back in my hand. And since I already attacked, I cannot attack again, and I'm going to be done.
So I untap, and now I'm going to draw. Exciting. Okay, so I don't have any lands to put down right now, but I do have an instant and a creature I can play. So I'm going to go ahead and put down 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to put this Blade Tusk Ore that he put back in my hand back down into the battlefield.
He's back.
Got summoning sickness. And I am going to... I cast a red spell, so now I'm going to choose a creature that can't block. I'm choosing this one.
Okay. She chose my Scroll Thief. He's a 1/3, and now he cannot block this turn.
And I'm going to attack for 3, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. So I'm going to choose to block her Goblin Battle Jester with my Archaeomancer. They're both 2/2. Oh, no, I'm sorry, they aren't 2/2. Maybe I won't do that. I will block the Goblin Arsonist.
Okay.
My Archaeomancer is a 1/1. I'm sorry, 1/2. So it'll deal 1 damage to the Goblin Arsonist.
Who now dies, but in his glorious death dance of whatever, he gets to do 1 damage to a target creature or player.
So do you choose my Archaeomancer to kill him since he's at 1 hit point now, or me?
What are you at?
10 life. Half. Less than you.
So I would still do 4 damage.
Yeah.
I will do damage to you.
5 to me?
Yes.
5
4.
damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's dying, so 1 more.
Oh, yes. Yes.
5.
5.
5 damage. It's not looking good.
Okay. And I will also cast this spell, which is an instant called Searing Spear, which does 3 damage to a target creature or player. Which costs 2.
Okay.
So I will say I'm attacking you for 3.
Not attacking.
Oh, I am
Casting.
casting damage to you.
Targeting.
Targeting you for damage.
Target's a very important keyword.
Yeah, we'll go into sorcery damage and combat damage later because I had the whole debate about that. At one point, as a noob, it's like, yeah, what's the difference? But there is a difference, obviously. So now you have taken a total of...
I'm at 2.
Yes.
Life.
8 damage, yeah.
Are you done?
I am done.
Thank God. I will untap my creature. I will untap my lands. I'll draw a card. I drew a Mist Raven, which is another flying creature. It's a 2/2, and I'm going to cast that now. It's 4 mana. Mist Raven says, when Mist Raven enters the battlefield, return target creature to owner's hand. So I play the Mist Raven, and I will return the boar back into Alachia's hand. And I cannot attack with the Mist Raven because it does not have haste. It has summoning sickness. I played my Mist Raven, and I returned the boar back into her hand. And so now it's my attack step. I'm going to attack with all of my creatures except for the Raven. And you have no creatures to block.
So I take 2, 3, 4 damage?
4 damage.
Okay. What am I at?
You'll be 11.
Okay.
11. And okay. And I have nothing else to cast, so I'm done.
Okay. Untapping. Sorry. The mana's getting out of control here. Okay.
Too much mana.
Draw a card. So I got a sorcery card here called Flames of Fireband. So, Flames of Fireband deals 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures or players. Okay, so at this point, I can bypass pretty much everything he has on the board and just choose to do damage to him. And so that is exactly what I'm going to do right now.
So I'm going to die.
Now, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
If I cast a sorcery first, can I come back and attack you with creatures too?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure of that.
But you can't interrupt anything with a sorcery.
Okay. So that's 3, and you take 3 damage.
And I'm at -1, and I'm dead.
You're dead! I win! I'm a wiener! Okay, just, so that was a quick game. It was very simplified. We made sure that it was kind of a simplified game so that we could kind of be done within like 30 minutes. Obviously, for anyone who does play Magic, who is watching this, if you are watching this, this is not how we would normally play.
No.
He is not that stupid. Okay.
You sure?
But if you have any questions or comments, please email us. We're at podcast@metatalks.com. He is at Azyxa on Twitter. I'm at Alachia on Twitter and on Facebook. You can follow me there. And if you have any questions whatsoever in terms of like how to play Magic, any of the things that you've seen, let us know. Obviously, this is a very simplified version. This is just to show you how the game's played, you know, exactly what's kind of happening, what's going behind some of the thinking between like the first couple of like cards that you draw, the basic gameplay, just so you can kind of see it in action. We're going to go into depth in other podcast episodes for sure about a lot of these cards and the breakdowns of these cards.
Yeah, and other rules that we skipped, which were not really applicable to this game.
Yes. And, you know, a lot of times when you're learning, you get bogged down with, like, oh, well, this is what this represents, this is what this represents, but initially just playing it kind of gives you an idea. So hopefully that did give you an idea. And if you wanted to ask us anything in terms of like something you saw that you didn't quite understand, please, message us, and we'll be sure to clarify in the next episode. The next episode actually is going to be the Theros pre-release tournament that he played in, so we'll release that pretty soon, probably in the next 2 days or so. And then we'll on an episode, I just believe that will be, so this is 19, that'll be 20. So in episode 21, we'll actually go into the breakdown of a card. We'll actually go into more of the rules, and so you can actually learn a little bit more in terms of the breakdown of things. So, anything else you want to add?
I think that's it.
Okay. All right. Until next time.
Bye.
Magic missile!